Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Woodmere Estate Revival. I'm down here at the house today working around the pool again. Amber and the boys went off for a little family jaunt up to visit some of our other family members up in Fairmont. And so I'm working today by myself trying to get a few things done. It's been pouring the rain most of the morning and afternoon, so I'm going to try to take advantage of some sunshine that we have right now to do some cleanup. I'm going to fire up some equipment and try to get all of the coping loaded up into the dumpster. And then I'm also going to start digging around the skimmer boxes. Those we think might be original, but it looks like at some point, at least part of it was replumbed in plastic. So what I need to do is dig down around the skimmer box and see if I can get down to the original plumbing and find out if they took it in plastic all the way from the skimmer back to the pump house, or if they just fixed part of it with plastic. If they didn't fix the whole thing, then we're going to have to replace the skimmer boxes and the plumbing and everything else. So got to get down there and get that figured out. And I've got one more wall to finish up. As far as the grinding of the thin set and everything, trying to get that smoothed up and ready for the new waterline tile. Let's take a look and see where we're starting out here today. So as you can see, the sun's out, and right now it's really pretty. Blue sky with just a few clouds. The pool, you can see, is nice and clean. Amber got in here yesterday and used the broom, used the shop vac, and really got all this cleaned up. But then, like I said, we've had some tremendous rain over the last 24 hours that has filled up the pool again. So, I mean, yesterday we had this pumped out completely and had it dry and, spotless down in the deep end. And then since then, obviously, it's rained a lot. So we got another, foot and a half or so of water back in the pool. But thankfully, we got the submersible pump down there in the deep well, sitting on top of the main drain, and so I'm just going to get that plugged in and get the water sucked out of there before the frogs and the snakes come back. I don't see anybody in the pool right now, so we may have caught it before the critters start navigating back to the pool. As you can see, most of this wall is done. You can see all the way across the top there where I've gotten all the old thin set and stuff knocked off. And then I got started on this wall yesterday, so I've still got to do the entire length of the back wall of the pool. And that's it. That's all the grinding, because this wall over here has been done and the wall that I'm standing on has been done. So thankfully most of that dirty job is done. I do have to get back over here, like I said, and pick up all these pieces of coping, get them loaded up. We thought maybe we could salvage those and use them for some other purpose, but ultimately they're a mess. There's a lot of mortar stuck to the back of them, and we're not going to be able to reuse those. So unfortunately, off to the landfill they go. So I'm going to go ahead and get those loaded up and out of here, get them out of our way. And then we just got to get the rest of the wall cleaned off. You can see how some of it is nice and clean, but there's a lot of it still that needs to be scraped off and cleaned off. Some of it has deteriorated a little bit. The concrete has broken down a little bit on top, so we're going to have to go through and kind of slick that up. Probably use some hydraulic cement or some other similar product. Go ahead and slick that up and give us a good surface to mount our new coping. So I'm going to get started and see what I can get accomplished this afternoon, and I'll check back with you guys here in just a little bit. Okay, got the first load of coping in the skid steer. That took care of this whole end and then all the way down this side. So hopefully I'm only going to need 2 trips to get all this coping loaded up into the dumpster, and then I can start doing a little excavating around our skimmer boxes and see what kind of piping we're dealing with. Hopefully it's plastic all the way back to the pump house. We're going to find out. There's an overflow drain over there, you can see sticking out of the wall there, that was replumbed with plastic. So we're hoping that all the way from the filter box back to the pump house is plastic, so at least we won't have to deal with that. So, all right, I'm going to take this load to the dumpster and then come back for load number 2. All right, here goes load number 1 into the dumpster. All right, so there's load number 2 in the skid steer, and I was able to get all of the coping in 2 loads. So real happy with that. Still got a few bricks and stuff to pick up around here, but that's not too big a deal. Picking up all these pieces of coping reminded me of picking up the bricks. They're definitely heavier, but brings back some good memories of brick loading. Anyway, so that's it for all of the coping. So now it's time to take this load to the dumpster, get rid of it, and then I'm gonna come back here and start digging around the skimmer boxes a little bit and see what I can uncover. But that just about does it for this episode of Woodmere Estate Revival. I've had a productive afternoon, got all the coping loaded up in the dumpster, got both skimmer boxes dug out, found out what kind of pipe was coming from the skimmer boxes over to the pump house, and did some other cleanup stuff around the house. So let's take a peek and see what all I got done today. So looking around the pool here, you can see that all of the coping is gone. I was able to load all that up into the skid steer and took 2 trips to get that stuff over to the dumpster. Thankfully, skid steer didn't get mired in all this mud over here and get buried up. We've had so much rain here recently. It's gotten really muddy in places around here. A lot of water running out of the wall. The weep holes at the bottom of the wall are just running like crazy because all the water coming down off the mountainside there. So at any rate, let's take a look at the piping coming out of these skimmer boxes. Now you can see down in the hole there, that is plastic line coming out of the skimmer box over here. So it looks like, unless there's some sort of issue with it, we're going to be able to reuse that. Not exactly sure what's going on here. You got plastic line coming out of the skimmer box, and it goes over into a rubber coupler. And then there's another piece of pipe there in between, and then another rubber coupler, and then back into PVC. So I'm not exactly sure what that is in the middle there. Maybe some sort of check valve. Don't know. Gonna have to talk to our pool guy about that. But again, you can see the water pooling in the bottom of the hole there. I mean, just tremendous amount of water coming down off the hillside. And so walking around Neptune's pool here, we can see he's got a nice algae bath going. Looks great, old boy. Hope you're enjoying it. Let's take a look over here at the other skimmer box. And you can see here we got PVC plastic pipe down in the hole there as well. So that's really good news. I'm hopeful that once we pressure test these things, we'll find that everything is intact and is operational, and we'll be able to reuse all of that. So again, a very productive day outside. Let's take a quick peek inside. I haven't taken you guys inside for a couple of weeks, and the framing crew has made remarkable progress. Can't wait to show you everything that has been going on inside. So let's go over there and take a look. Let's walk over past the pool here, up onto the porch. Now, one of the things we're going to do a little differently when we redo this pool area is move the fence. You can see the fence kind of comes over and it lines up with the edge of the house, but we're actually going to move it out so it lines up with the edge of the post, and then there'll be a step coming down off the side of the porch here, and then the new fence will go from the edge of the porch and all the way across here. So that's going to add about 8 to 10 feet of extra patio on the downhill side of the pool, which would be really nice. It's kind of tight on this side here, and you know, to put chairs and stuff in there, it'd be hard to get around. So we're looking forward to moving that fence out and having some more space to have loungers and tables and chairs and umbrellas and everything on that side of the pool as well. All right, so let's run up on the porch here. Looking forward to getting this porch cleaned off. After the contractor's finished, we're gonna take all the old furniture and everything off and get everything spick and span. All right, let's take a look in the house here. So as you can see, brand new foyer. All this wood and everything is all brand new, and the staircase is very well supported. They put some serious beef underneath this staircase. These posts that you see here, they're temporary. That's just what they use to support the staircase while they're putting the new joists in. But they added some double joists in places that they didn't have before, and really propped things up, got it all leveled out, and it's much better than it was before. Looking over here in the living room, again, you can see all of the flooring is in place. The joists are all brand new. The sills are all brand new. The bottoms of the studs now are supported on the plate instead of sitting on top of the floor. So that's going to provide a much more rigid structure, less likely to settle or move later on. They got all their bracing in here, so the joists are nice and rigid at this point. Let's tiptoe across the floor joist here and take a look into the office. As you can see, the office now has a floor. And it doesn't stop at the back porch wall. It actually goes all the way out to the edge of the house. We'll take a look at that from the other side. You'll be able to better visualize what that's going to look like once completed. So let's step back over here, going through the foyer again. And now you can see how large the dining room is going to be now that we've got all the flooring and everything in. You've got a much larger space now that we have the dining room wall blown out there and have the laundry room and pantry eliminated, made for a much larger dining room. So we're going to move the chandelier box over into the center there, and then we'll have our table centered and have a lot of room on all sides for furnishings and everything else. So let's walk across the joist here again, step into the kitchen, and as you can see, they use double joists all throughout the kitchen. And that's because we're planning on having a lot of cabinetry, appliances, and a large central island. So the guys were concerned that they wouldn't have enough support. Given the span, there's a long span between the middle of the wall there and then over here to the back. So they wanted to make sure that we had some good rigidity in there with those extra joists. Now looking across here, you can finally see what it's going to look like with the new enlarged office. We got that doorway here blown out. Those guys took it out for us, the door and everything that used to go out onto the back porch. That's gone now. And you can see the flooring is now one continuous floor from the living room all the way back into the office. There's going to be a tremendous amount of natural light coming in from both of those big door units, one facing the hillside and one facing the pool. And from the kitchen, from the family room, we're actually going to be able to look out into the pool, watch kids play, and really have a much more open concept feel to the whole place. So you can see they framed around the chimney here. And so they just carried the framing around and came around on the back side of the chimney. Before, this was just covered up. This chimney was not part of the feature of the room, and there was a wood box right here, if you'll remember back to once upon a time when we took a concrete saw blade and we cut down this entire side of the chimney and then knocked all this out. There was a big wood box here, and it looked like a big 1960s albatross. I mean, it was pretty hideous. So we took that out and opened up this wall. So now you've got a pass-through on both sides of the fireplace, and we're going to wrap this fireplace in paneling and really make it a feature rather than hide it within the wall. So you can see what they did here. They did a pressure-plated sill across the original block wall there, and then they notched all the joists so they could just ride on top of the existing concrete and flagstone patio. So you got a lot of support there, which is going to be just fine for the flooring and everything that we've got here. But again, look at this view. You're going to be able to stand right here in the office and look out onto the pool. This window's going away, and this door over here that is boarded up, the window and the door will all become one big door unit. So there'll be like a double slider or a double French door with side lights looking out onto the pool, and it's going to catch all this evening light, really going to light this place up. And same thing on the back here. This is all going to be one big door unit as well. Let me spin around here and tiptoe across the floor joist again so we can look back the other direction. And looking back this way into the formal living room, we're going to open this doorway up as well. Once we got this back wall behind me opened up, you can see all the light coming in. We said, oh my gosh, we need to open up that doorway and get some of that natural light coming in. So I think we're going to enlarge it at least 16 inches, maybe a little bit more, to let more of that natural light flow through into the living room and really provide a lot more of that evening sun there as well. So again, looking back into the kitchen, and again, this is all one continuous space now because of the way that we've got everything framed up here. So it's very exciting, and we couldn't be happier with the work that the crew from Merck did for us. Their framing crew is second to none, and they did a fantastic job bringing this space back to life. So now you're all caught up to speed on the interior changes as well. It's really looking good in here, and we are super excited to get the next phase started with electric and plumbing and HVAC and the addition and all the other things that we've got going on here at the house. We're getting down to the wire here, trying to get our next contractor in place to go ahead and finish the project. We've been interviewing contractors. They've been taking site tours. So we're getting close. I think we're going to have one selected here within the next week or two, and we'll finally get the rest of the project underway. So we'll, of course, keep you posted on all that. Please be sure to hit that subscription button so you don't miss a single episode of Woodmere Estate Revival. Hit the like button if you would, please. Leave a comment, question, anything you got about the show down below. And be sure to share the channel with your family and friends. We always appreciate that. Love our loyal subscribers, and looking forward to having more of you. So spread the word. We'll see you again real soon. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.